May 19th, Colonel Jeffrey Williams.
Opportunities are easily missed. Keep your eyes open. For 6 weeks, astronaut Jeffrey Williams had been orbiting the Earth. Working aboard the International Space Station was a dream come true for a man who thoroughly enjoyed God's creation. But being an astronaut on the space station got lonely. For weeks, there was only Jeffrey and cosmonaut Pavel. One May morning, the loneliness and the sameness weighed heavy. God had given him this awesome opportunity, but Jeffrey felt forgotten. Every day he got to talk to Anne-Marie, his wife, but being physically separated from his family was weird. It was tough. He was having an adventure, sure, but they were going on with their lives on Earth. He told Anne-Marie what he was thinking, and she said she would pray for him. That was good, but it felt like God had forgotten him. After the call, he floated to his workstation. As he passed by a window where he had a camera set to take pictures of Earth, he had time to snap a few photos for NASA. He looked down on Earth, snowy mountain peaks surrounded by gleaming water, the Aleutian Islands off the tip of the Alaskan Peninsula. He snapped photos, but something was wrong. A giant plume of smoke billowed from the mountain peak, and this was no ordinary mountain fire. The mountain was a volcano, Cleveland volcano, and it was erupting. The station was already passing the area, and by the time Jeffrey called Pavel to see the volcano, it was out of sight. Jeffrey called Houston and reported the eruption, and the excitement stirred. No one on Earth knew about it, and as scientists, they were excited. Jeffrey sent pictures for confirmation, and Houston notified the Alaskan Observatory, but the observatory thought it was a prank. 90 tension-filled minutes passed before the station flew over the volcano again. This time, Jeffrey saw no smoke. Now, like liquid fire, streaks of red and gold lava surged down the sides of the volcano. Jeffrey's body pumped adrenaline, and he was pumped. Even NASA was giddy about the discovery. Jeffrey was probably the only person on or above Earth who had seen the Cleveland volcano erupt. God had heard his wife's prayer, and he hadn't forgotten Jeffrey. Think of the immensity of the universe. Think of the grandeur. Think of one man being in the exact right spot at the exact right time to see one mountain peak so far away. Pavel was right there, and he did not get to see it. Likewise, having a down day was a pretty small moment in Jeffrey's life, but the creator of the immense and grand universe cared about Jeffrey, cared about how he felt, cared that he knew his creator had not forgotten him. He takes care of us continually in the little things, Jeffrey said. In Jeremiah 32:17, the prophet Jeremiah writes, "Ah, sovereign Lord, you have made the heavens and the earth by your great power and outstretched arm. Nothing is too hard for you." Like Colonel Jeffrey Williams, do you have moments when you feel all alone and forgotten by God? You are like many of us men who feel that way at times. It does not mean you have lost your faith. Do you need to pray and ask God to help you keep your eyes open and not miss opportunities to see God all around you? Remember, opportunities are easily missed. Keep your eyes open.
Hi, I'm Pastor Jim, and I serve the Alliance Church in Jerusalem, Israel. All right, I have a couple thoughts about today's video. Colonel Jeffrey Williams was a very interesting man, and the thing that stands out to me about him is that he graduated first in his class. Now, to me, that is a very big deal. It took desire. It's not something that he haphazardly fell into or accidentally accomplished. It also took obedience. He had to know what his commanding officers expected of him, and then he had to rise to meet those expectations. Because he did, he received and was trusted with greater things. So desire and obedience put him in the exact place that he needed to be at the perfect moment to receive what God had for him. Now, I've not done anything that impressive with my life. And chances are, many of us will not graduate first in our class or become flight engineers or even walk in space. But what is for all of us is that God has allowed us to walk with him. And this is where his grace comes into play. We don't have to be perfect or achieve these great or grandiose things. We just have to have desire, and we have to have obedience. We have to obey. Jesus taught us in Matthew 5:6. He says, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled." He says, "If you love me, you will obey me." Deuteronomy 28:1. He says, "If you fully obey the Lord your God and carefully keep all his commands that I'm giving you today, the Lord your God will set you high above all the nations of the world." High above. I mean, talk about a spectacular view. What a promise. All right, so today's challenge, there's two parts to it. And the first part of the challenge is to communicate our desire for God's presence in today. We need his presence. And so King David does a great job of this in the Psalms. You can go to those and you can read those and pray those to him, or you just pray a simple prayer like this: Jesus, I need and I want your tangible presence in my day. Help me to see that you are with me. The second half of this is obedience. Now, sometimes it's hard to hear God, but I do believe he's always speaking to us and always directing us. And so I want us to just pause for a minute and think about, are there any reoccurring thoughts that have been coming to mind about your relationship with him? Maybe it's about getting up earlier in the morning and having a quiet time with him. Maybe it's about prayer walking in your neighborhood and praying salvation for your neighbors. Maybe it's about starting a family devotional in the evening before bedtime. Whatever it is, doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I do want you to start today. Maybe it's maybe something about sin. If it's about sin, well, own it, apologize for it, and start making changes to live the desire that he has for your life. So I leave you with this: desire and obedience put us in the exact place that we need to be at the perfect moment to receive what God has for us.